Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshtarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasudi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So chapter 1 is titled as Arjuna Vishada Yoga. So every chapter of the Gita is titled Yoga. Yoga is basically the connection between ourself, Atma, and the Supreme Self, the Supreme Lord, Krishna. So that is what is Yoga. So he's preparing the field for the actual Gita to be spoken to the Lord. So in this chapter, primarily we see three different personalities. One is Dhritarashtra, next is his son Duryodhana, and finally Arjuna. So how they react to the same situation? Because we have their words, we have their feelings being expressed here. The very first verse, Dhritarashtra Uvacha. Dhritarashtra says, Dharma kshetre kurukshetre samaveta yutsavaha mamakaha pandavaschaiva kim akurvata sanjaya. So Sanjaya is his secretary. So he was dependent on him. Dhritarashtra is blind from birth, so definitely he needs assistance. And Sanjaya is his confidant. So he had got a divine vision to see whatever is happening on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, sitting at Hastinapura, which is hundreds of miles away. So Dhritarashtra is that's why asking Sanjaya, what did my sons and sons of my brother Pandu, what did they do? So that is his question. So there are a lot of things. When he is asking this question, he is expressing his fear, because it is known that it is going to be a war, and they have come there assembled to be with full determination. But still somewhere in the corner of his heart, Dhritarashtra is feeling some kind of fear. Why the fear he is expressing here? He says, Dharma kshetre kurukshetre. He says, this war field is not an ordinary place. So this place, Kurukshetra, is a Dharma kshetra. So presently it looks like, what is this? Kurukshetra is a big city, metro, not a metropolis, but definitely a big city, developed city. So what is this Dharma kshetra? Dharma kshetra, generally we hear about Vrindavan, we hear about Mayapur, Jagannath Puri. Yes, the Kurukshetra is also a holy place which is mentioned in the various scriptures. It is said, Kurukshetra dharmam acharet. So somebody is doing so many activities, spiritual activities. Kurukshetra is a very ideal place. The place also has a value for practicing spiritual life, for practicing dharma. So much so it is said, even the denizens of heaven, the devatas from the upper planets, they also sometimes come down here and do those rituals in the Kurukshetra. So naturally Dhritarashtra felt, my sons from beginning have been very, very crooked. So he knows this nature, their nature. They are envious of the Pandavas. They want the kingdom for their own sake. So he knows what is their children, what is his children. On the other side, the sons of Pandu, headed by Maharaj Yudhishthira, Dharmaraj. So very, very pious. So he knew that they were very, very holy. And this place, because it's a holy place, maybe it will have an influence on them and they will become victorious. So he's already having that feeling. Not only that, he started feeling, maybe because of the holy place, effect of the holy place, my sons may feel there is no need to fight the war. Because Dhritarashtra did not get the throne. It was only later, because Pandu died early, he became a caretaker king, and still uh, he wanted this legacy to go to his sons, Duryodhana. They were not qualified, nothing in comparison to the Pandavas, such pious living entities. Still, he wanted his own sons. That is our whole thing. My son, my son. So my children, my community, my. We always, under illusion, we feel somebody to be, something to be mine and something to be somebody else. So that's how he's expressing the feeling here. Maybe this place, Kurukshetra, a Dharma Kshetra, will have an influence on my own sons, and they may get into some kind of a negotiation, consensus, agreement, and they may stop the war itself, which he did not want. He wanted it that my sons, let the throne come to my sons, and let my brother's sons, let them be destroyed, let them go to hell, doesn't matter. He wanted the kingdom for his sons. But still, the influence of the holy place, he felt, may change his sons. So he didn't want that. So that's what it is showing, that he's asking, what did my sons do? Particularly, what did my sons, whether it had influence on them? So, no, he didn't have. So he's feeling a kind of a fear of the influence of the holy place. So that is what is expressed in this verse. Then the answer to Sanjaya for this. So Sanjaya immediately understands with what intention Dhritarashtra is speaking. So he says, don't worry, your sons are not going to give up the fight, they are going to fight. So immediately he said, so yes, there's just an analogy given here. Analogy given just like even when we boil the milk, when we prepare some cheese, when we prepare some paneer, the liquid portion of that, which is unwanted portion, is discarded, and the thick, the portion, it is kept, and we make rasgulla, gulab jamun, so many things we can make with that. So similarly it is said, in this battlefield, in this holy place of Kurukshetra, which is like a boiling process being undertaken by the Lord himself, the father of religion, the unwanted people like the Kauravas, like the Dhritarashtra's sons, will be removed, and the pious, glorious people like Pandavas will be established. So it's also told, just like another example told sometimes in the agricultural field, a farmer very carefully takes out the weeds and throws them away, and just allows what is needed, what is helpful, those plants, those creepers to grow. So similarly, something like that, in this holy field, religious field of Kurukshetra, Krishna is going to pluck out the unwanted elements like Duryodhana and establish the perfect personalities like Arjuna. So that is the meaning of the word Dharma Kshetra, Kurukshetra. Apart from the historical significance, it is a place where this war, the great war of Mahabharata happened, and this is a place where even the Devatas observe so many religious activities and to gain perfection. So whatever. So it is a holy place. Yes. So Mamaka Pandava. So that is what the whole disease of mine and somebody else. Pandava, they're supposed to be also his own brother's sons, brother's children. They also belong to the same family. Kuru Vamsha. Kuru is a common ancestor, a great grandfather. But as we generally hear, we think Kauravas means the sons of Dhritarashtra, and Pandavas are different sons of Pandu. Yes, Pandavas are sons of Pandu, but Pandavas also happen to be Kauravas, happen to be in the same dynasty of Kuru Maharaj. So Kuru is a common grandfather, but still it was so much the policy of Dhritarashtra that it has become famous. Dhritarashtra's sons as Kauravas and Pandu's sons as Pandavas. It should not be like that. If Pandu's sons are Pandavas, Dhritarashtra's sons should be Dhartarashtras. Correct? The Pandu word you can derive Pandava. Similarly, Dhritarashtra you have to derive Dhartarashtra. But never we always have this understanding that the fight was between Pandavas and Dhartarashtras. We always say the fight was between Pandavas and Kauravas. Why? Because so much Dhritarashtra had done this injustice to Pandavas, and he kept the family legacy, that legacy from the ancestor, the Kuru Vamsha, to himself, that his own sons were labeled, were known to the public as Kauravas. And Pandu's sons, even though they also belong to the same family of Kauravas, they were called as Pandavas, as if they are some other family, some other town, something like that. So we get to know all these things from the from the use of the word Dhritarashtra when he's saying Mamakaha Pandava Chaiva. Kima Kurvata, what did they do? So this is also something very significant, because if you ask me, okay, Today you visited this hotel, you went to hotel, some Woodlands, something. Okay, what did you do there? Definitely, if I visit a hotel, I will take something, some refreshment, some drink, some call, some juice, something I have taken. Okay. So similarly, somebody goes to a warfield, the whole armor, everything in the tankers, whatever now arranged, Ukraine and Russia, they are telling Russia is ready with all the things. Any day, any second, they may invade. So with all the preparation, and the people have come, and you say, what did they do? What did they do? They will fight. Everybody is prepared. If not, they will throw weapons. Similarly, is feeling they may not fight because of the influence of the holy place. That's why this word akukima kurvata is feeling, is feeling of that is being expressed. So definitely, if somebody is not in a in plan with the Lord, is acting whimsically, is acting for his own selfish interest, definitely the element of fear will be there. So they are all part of that. So to the degree we become selfless, we come out of our selfishness, we become fearless. But Dhritarashtra is a person, a typical selfish person. That's why he's afraid. He's having this feeling of fear. The next week we come to understand the personality of Duryodhana. So Duryodhana was also like his father. So he is not going to be influenced by the holy place. Though it's a holy place. So we go to a holy place, we feel reformed, we feel purified for some time. Then we come back to the holy place. We were back to our old habits, old ways. So we see. But Dhritarashtra is also something like that. Even the holy place, within the holy place, he doesn't have any change of feeling. He has come with a full determination to fight, either win or lose, but war should happen. He has come with that feeling. So that's how you find here, immediately seeing the military arrangement of the Pandavas, such a vast arrangement, which he didn't expect. Who will expect? So the Pandavas have gone for exile for 14 years, and they're given the kingdom to Dhritarashtra's son Duryodhana, and then they come back. Who are their allies? All the allies have been won over by Duryodhana. He has bribed everybody, so everybody is in his side. So he thought, okay, with the 5 Pandavas, hardly there are some hundreds or thousands of men. We didn't expect like a huge army. 8 Akshavani Sainyas. It is said 11 Akshavani Sainyas was fighting for Duryodhana, and 7 Akshavani Sainyas was fighting for Yudhishthira. He didn't expect that such a huge assembly. It was almost half of their army. Still, he didn't expect. He didn't expect them even to have an army strength half of his size, because so much cheating in so many ways. They were deprived of their position, and he made the arrangements, a political diplomacy that everybody were his side. All the treaties, so many things he has done. Not that today we have this treaty, that treaty, allies, access. No, people, it's used to be there. This history is repeating itself. So the Duryodhana, he was expert at that, and he didn't expect Pandavas to come up with any meaningful arrangement. But he saw there is some good arrangement. Immediately he goes to his teacher. His teacher, you see here, Dronacharya. Dronacharya was the one who trained both the sons of Pandu as well as sons of Dhritarashtra. So he's their common guru. So he has gone there and he's accusing his guru. What you have done, my guru? You taught this military art to this person, Drushtadimna, who is the son of Drupada, and the same person is now made this huge arrangement to fight against us. See what you have done. Is this not your mistake? You trained him, you taught him this military science, and the same personality is now arranged such a huge army. If you had not taught him, if you had not accepted him as your disciple, this thing would not have happened. So he's finding out the mistake of Dronacharya. This is not the way. Dronacharya is a very senior personality. He's his own guru who taught him the military science, and he's a Brahmana, not just an ordinary person by name. A real qualified person, a holy person, saintly person, Dronacharya. But this is the way to go and tell him that, see what you have done. You taught this. And Drushtadimna is also got a boon. He was born with a boon to be the cause for the death of Dronacharya. Because there was some, you might be knowing, there was some family, not family cousin, Dronacharya and Drupada were class friends. And one time, Drupada had promised, in future, when I become the king, I will share half of my kingdom. And Dronacharya was fine. He was a Brahmana. He was involved in his various activities. But he was so poverty stricken at one time, hardly any even milk to feed his son. So that was when he thought, oh, anyway, my son, my friend has become an emperor now. is Maharaj Drupada, and he gave promise sometime. So let me approach him. So if he remembers the promise. So he went to him, Drupada, but Drupada was not too. Whatever I said something in friendship, now you've taken it like this, and he just out of his pride, because somebody is in such position as a king, naturally pride comes, power, whatever. With all those things, he did not properly respect or even treat him as a friend should treat. So Dronacharya wanted to avenge for this. That was when later the Pandavas, the particular Arjuna, they were sent. They arrested Drupada, defeated him. So they brought him tied like an animal. So Dronacharya did that. He did avenge for whatever dishonor he had faced at the hands of Drupada. But Drupada also in turn started thinking, so I should do something that I should kill Dronacharya. So he did a big yagna, and that was when Drupada got a son through Drishtadyumna. So this was all known to Dronacharya. So Dronacharya was a teacher, but later, past is past. He just, okay, things happened sometime, revenge, avenge, whatever. But now it is not. Drishtadyumna is qualified, fit to be a disciple. So previously they used to test whether a person is qualified as a disciple. Then they used to impart. Not that he is born in this community, this caste, or this. No, he is tested. Each person is tested, and as per his qualification, is trained to be Brahmana or a Kshatriya, or things used to be like that. Very scientifically organized system of society. So Dronacharya saw that this son of Drupada is qualified to be taught this military art. So even though it may be the cause for my death, I don't mind. Destiny, whatever has to happen will happen. Let me do my duty. My duty as an impartial teacher is to give the knowledge to a qualified person. That is my duty. So whatever may happen, it may be the cause of my death, I don't mind. So he taught him the military art. The same Drishtadyumna, having learned the whole military arrangement, how to make the arrangement, how a commander should have this arrangement to fight against an enemy, having learned from Dronacharya, is now using it against Dronacharya. So Duryodhana is pointing out this point. What have you done? No. That is not the way. So that is why it is said, Duryodhana also felt a kind of fear. Duryodhana, even though he had so much military strength, so many big commanders, Bhishma, Drona, Karna, who never had lost a battle like that. There used to be such big names. So even with all the chieftains, even with all the huge army he had, with so much weaponry he had, everything, still, by the arrangement made with Drishtadyumna, he felt a kind of fear. So with that, he starts speaking to Dronacharya, assessing what is the strength and weaknesses of the opposite party. That's how the politics, the diplomats deal. They find out the weakness, they find out the strong points of the opposite party. So in this section of the Bhagavad Gita, beginning, you find those verses wherein Dronacharya is as addressed by Duryodhana. Duryodhana is saying, these are all people on my side. I have Bhishma, I have you, I have Karna. And on their side, who is there? Arjuna, okay. Then Bhimasena, okay. Then Abhimanyu, then he starts listing one by one. And he compares and he says, they are being protected by Bhimasena and we are protected by Bhishma. So in front of Bhishma, who is Bhima? He is just like some straw, a small fig. So that way, he felt himself again relaxed. Yes, I am going to fight the war. Everything, materially, everything is set. Now the weaponry, we say Russia is having so much weaponry, Ukraine is having actually nothing. So if we think Ukraine will win, it cannot happen. It is so huge, the Russian weaponry. Something like that. He was nicely analyzing and he gave the idea, I am going to win. Definitely war is going to be in my side. That was how Duryodhana felt. Even though some fear was there. The fear element was there at the corner of his heart. That's why he immediately approached Dronacharya to express his feelings and started assessing military strengths and weakness of the two parties. That's what we hear in this portion, Duryodhana's fear. So then, to encourage Duryodhana, Bhishma Pitamaha, so he wanted to encourage, after all, he's his grandson. He knows this grandson is a spoiled grandson. And the other side, I have Dharmaraj, Yudhishthir, Arjuna, so benevolent, so saintly, so great. Still, as a matter of duty, I had given my word to my father that I will protect whoever is in the throne. So circumstantially, this person is on the throne. And long time, they have also maintained me. So in this point of their life, when they are in danger, it is not good for me to leave them. So he thought, okay, whatever, finally Krishna is there, Krishna's will happen, whatever, nobody can stop his will. So with that understanding, he was siding the Duryodhana, but his affection was for the Pandavas. Still, so to encourage Duryodhana, he blows his conch shell to say, yes, now we are going to begin the war. Start. So that was our first Bhishma Pitama. He blows his conch shell. And after hearing Bhishma Pitama's conch shell, all other Kaurava chieftains, they also blow their conch shell, signaling, yes, we are going to fight the war. So then, after this, on the Pandava side, here we find Lord Krishna himself, then Arjuna. So they start blowing their conch shell. So there are particular names for the conch shells used by these great personalities. The conch shell used by Krishna is called Panchajanya. So Panchajanya is a transcendental conch shell. It is not an ordinary conch shell. But anyway, then even the conch shell used by Arjuna, that is the name is Devadatta. The conch shell used by Bhimasena, it is called Paundraka. The conch shell used by Dharmaraj Yudhishthir is called Ananta Vijaya. So there are particular names, Nakula and Sahadeva, Sugosha, Mani Pushpaka, like that. Names are there for each one because these are great personalities. Anything connected to them is glorious. So just like somebody we hear a great person, or a great politician or a film star, you want to know about his child, you want to know about his father, you don't want to know about his place, but so many things you want to know. But after all, these are all materialistic people. But persons like Arjuna, Pandavas, they are greatly qualified transcendental persons. So everything connected to them, to remember their paraphernalia is itself wonderful. Is itself purifying for us. Our existence gets purified just remembering them, remembering their personalities, remembering their activities. It is so definitely we should remember their conch shells. So when they blow the conch shells, here interestingly we hear Sagosho Dharta Rashtrana Hridayani Vyadarayat Nabashcha Prithivim Chaiva Tumulo Abhyanu Nadayan. The meaning is the blowing of these different conch shells became uproarious and thus vibrating both in the sky and on the earth. It shattered the hearts of the sons of Dhritarashtra. So this is after the blowing of conch shells by the Pandavas. So we don't find in the Gita when Bhishma Pitama blew his conch shell or the Kauravas blew their conch shell, anything that happened on the Pandavas. Okay, it just signaled that war is going to begin. Okay, yes, fine, ready, start. But when Pandavas have blown the conch shell, Kauravas, it created something like a horror within their hearts. Sometimes we hear a lightning in the thunder in the sky. We feel what is going to happen? Is there some atom bomb somebody threw or something else? We start thinking. When we see the nature is so powerful, it 1 second it can just finish us off. We plan so many big skyscrapers, so many highways, flyways, so many things we do. But in a second, the nature is so powerful. One tsunami, finished. Everything, all our great plans, so many years and decades of our progress, everything thrown. So nature is very powerful. So we hear that sound, we get afraid like that. Similarly, the Duryodhana and all these soldiers on their party, they immediately felt a kind of a shock. Oh, we are going to lose the war. They had a heart attack, something like that. Already they had a heart attack. Why that happened? That is because of the confidence the Pandavas have on the Lord. Even though they may not have whatever the military strength, whatever the weaponry, armor, whatever, they are not expert like Duryodhana in all the diplomacy, in cheating and all that. They are not expert in that. But their unswerving faith on the Lord, their exclusive devotion for the Lord, that was sufficient for them. Bajahure mana Srinandanandana Abhaya Charanara Vindare. So a devotee, even though circumstantially it may appear to be a very difficult situation in life, just like Prahlad Maharaj, his own father was trying to kill him. What can he do? A small child, his own father wants to poison him, wants to kill him by putting him amid snakes, by putting a fire around him, by throwing him from a mountain. So many ways. What can this small baby do? Still, because he was constantly remembering Narayana, he was fearless. And in fact, his father asks him, "Who gives you strength?" Me, the whole universe, the Devatas, they're also afraid. Indra, Surya, Chandra, they're all acting on my order. If I say to Surya, you have to move like this faster, yes, or you have to set now, they're all like that doing, they're all obedient to my orders. Such big Devatas are under my orders. I have controlled them, I have won over them. And you, I don't know how to deal with you. And you are fearless. So where is the strength where you are getting from? So the Prahlad Maharaj says, the source of your strength is also the source of my strength. First of all, he says, the source of my strength is the source of your strength. And indeed, is the common source for the strength of everybody else. So Prahlad Maharaj, such a small boy, 5-year-old boy, has complete knowledge about where actually one can get strength, one can get power, whatever. Krishna, Narayana is the source for everything. So that was how he answered. Then Hiranyakashipu felt, this is too much. My son is talking about some supreme power, somebody above me. I have to report to somebody. I'm under the loss of somebody. So take him. And one more way to kill him. So that was how it went on between Prahlada and his father, Hiranyakashipu. So Pandavas, similarly, pure devotees of the Lord. So they have nothing to worry, even amidst such a great danger. The person like Vishnu Deva is there, they don't have to worry. And Krishna is not even given the promise, I will not lift the weapon. We don't mind. Krishna is on our side, that is enough. If we don't fight, he doesn't have to lift the weapon, that is enough. Krishna is siding us, Krishna is with us, that is enough. That is devotees. Yes, so until this point, the various words used by Vedavyasa in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 1, that signifies the victory is for the Pandavas. This is a chariot which was gifted by Agni Deva. So that was also something. Wherever the chariot is driven, yes, the victory is for the party. Kapidvaja, that is a flag which you see on the chariot of Arjuna. Hanuman is there. So he's a great devotee, Hanuman, having fought for Lord Ramachandra. So Arjuna always is praying to Lord Hanuman, you kindly give me your mercy so that similarly I can serve the same master, Lord Rama, who is now Krishna. Krishna and Rama, no, nobody, now different. So he's asking the mercy of a previous devotee, a successful devotee, eternal devotee of the Lord Hanuman, to bless him so that in his service to his master, so he can be also successful. So that is also a significance. Wherever there is Hanuman, there is victory. Shankanada, Shanka, the sounding of the conch shell itself, it's a holy thing which is in the hands of Lord Narayana, Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma. So that itself is a sign of victory for the Pandavas. And again, this weaponry, it's not an ordinary bow which you can make with some wood or something like that. These are all Gandiva, it's not an ordinary bow like that. This bow can, all divine weapons, all the nuclear weapons, Brahmastra, whatever we hear, all subtle weapons. Today we have just some gross weapons, fire weapons, but we don't know subtle weapons, weapons of water, weapons of air. So just by those arrows, they can make rains come, they can make fire to come, they can create a thunderstorm, they can create so many things. It is completely different science altogether, subtler military science. So Gandiva, he has the Gandiva on his side. And a Pashupatastra given by Lord Shiva. And interestingly, one word Duryodhana mentions in the second verse, not second verse, when he was talking with his guru, Dronacharya, he says, all these people have assembled, ready to give up their life for me. Yes, they are all come, all the Kaurava side, all those people have assembled. Actually, they have come to die in the battlefield. So he uses the word Tekta Jivita. It's just like something came out from his mouth, should have come out. We should not use such things. So that already indicated that he is going to die with all his friends, his relatives. And it happened on the holy day of Ekadashi, Mokshada Ekadashi. So this comes around almost every year during the time of December. So it's a holy day, Ekadashi. So devotees observe a special fast and special prayers for the Lord on that day. So definitely it is going to, the Gita was spoken on that day. The first day of the war happened on that day. This is all siding Arjuna and Pandavas. And wherever the Lord is eternal consort, Bhagyalakshmi, the goddess of fortune. She brings all fortune. So she is there. And wherever is fortune, Bhagyalakshmi is there. All victory, everything is there. And Krishna was addressed as Rishikesha in the words, few words here, as master of the senses, total master of the senses. Anyway, this is all to signify in this chapter itself that the victory is for the Pandavas, even before the war is about to begin. Then the main content of this chapter, why this chapter is called Arjuna Vishada Yoga. That is Arjuna's reaction, why he is not going to fight the war. We saw, though it's a holy war, it's a holy place, Kurukshetra, it didn't have any influence on either the Dhritarashtra nor his son Duryodhana. They continued to be there in their demoniac attitude of trying to exploit, trying to amass everything for themselves, not even caring, their own brothers, their own relatives, nothing. Let them go to hell, let them die. So that was the attitude of Duryodhana and Dhritarashtra. But we'll see what is happening to Arjuna. See, Arjuna is started shedding tears. This is a sign of great personality. Sign of great personality thinks many, many times before doing any activity. Particular activity like this, he will think 100 times. What happened to Arjuna before the war actually happened to Yudhishthira after the war. After the war, no Kauravas are existing. They've all died. So they're all waiting now. We have this holy king, pious, most pious personality, Dharma personified. Yudhishthira is there. They're all waiting, everybody. Let him be the king now, and everything will be set right. But Dharmaraj Yudhishthira starts speaking. Oh, such a sinful person I am. Just for making me the king, so many millions of people are slaughtered. So all that sin is on my head, and I'm fit to live in hell eternally. So what kind of a demoniac sinful person I am? That is how Yudhishthira Maharaj started thinking after the war. Same thing happened to Arjuna before the war. So that is how we find Arjuna saying, out of compassion, natural compassion, a great person feels compassion for suffering humanity. So he said, all these people, just for making us the kings, giving us the power, no, Krishna, I cannot do that. So out of natural compassion, Arjuna is saying, in the 28th verse, I'm not going to fight. Then there is also a calculation, a kind of a calculation by Arjuna, wherein he feels that anyway, these relatives are very, very close to me, are very, very dear to me. We all grew up together. After all, they are our own cousin. They are all our brothers. After all, they are brothers. So how it is that we have to kill them? So let them enjoy. After all, they are the brothers. So if we kill them, then in their absence, what kind of enjoyment? We don't have our brothers, our own cousins. So without them, what kind of enjoyment it is? What kind of a having power, or what kind of a thing? Aurangzeb was different. His own brother, they are ready to kill them. But personality like Arjuna is not like that. Duryodhana is also ready, similarly, to kill all of them. But Arjuna is not ready like that. So he's feeling, without them, what kind of enjoyment? What will I enjoy in my life? We enjoy means we have our friends, we have our relatives, and we organize a huge function. We tell them, please come. We have organized a big function. We have organized a big party, this party, that party. If everybody is dead, and if you have all the money, what will you do? So Arjuna is thinking like this in the material calculation. All these people, when they are dead, what kind of enjoyment I have with so much money, so much power, so much this. So he says there is no enjoyment, no bodily enjoyment. The third reason Arjuna gives is it's a great sin. So Arjuna is aware that something is bad, something is good. So this word, we should understand what is good, what is bad. It's not that, okay, I can think that this is good for me, this may be bad for somebody. Or I think it is bad. No, it is not something relative, something, it is objective. This is good, this is bad, yes. So dharma is something, dharmam tu sakshat bhagavat pranitam. It is not that law means, dharma means you can imagine any kind of a thing. This is good, this is bad, you do whatever you want to, I'll do whatever. It is not like that. If I cannot say, I cannot stand in the middle of the road and say, from now on, the vehicles, my vehicle will move on the right hand side of the road. So I make this law. Who am I to make the law? Or somebody else will say something else. No, it is not like that. The law is made by the government. Similarly, dharma is what is made by the Lord. It is not that we can decide, we can imagine, we can speculate. No, it is standard. So Arjuna has an understanding of what is dharma, what is adharma, what is punya, what is papa. With that understanding, he's telling it's a great sin to kill all these people. Every life, we cannot create life, but we can take away life. So easy to take away life. So Arjuna is feeling how he can be the cause for killing all these people. So that's why sin. The third reason, in the 36th verse. So we'll just run through the verses. The fourth reason, he says, after this war, a devastation, it is happening. What will happen to the society? All these men who have come to the war, previously it used to be the war, the men now also, mostly men only come take part in the war because of their physical strength and whatever. Now, anyway, women have their own role, they have their own duties. Men have the particular duties, women have the particular duties. It's clearly defined in the various society. So he says, after all these men are died, men are killed, who will protect the women folk? Because women folk naturally are generally are very, very, they're more soft-hearted. Men are hard-hearted. So they need some kind of a guidance, some kind of protection. Abala. So he felt maybe there are people who will exploit the situation, and then there may be unwanted population that comes out. and then there is nobody who is guiding and nobody is following the religious principles, and then the generation which comes out will be like neither good for the material world nor good for the spiritual world. They have no spiritual idea. Even for the material world, they do not know what is good, what is bad. So that is called Varna Sankara. So he says the family traditions will be lost. There will be no offering of Shraddha rituals for the ancestors which are to be done. And with this kind of a situation, nobody guiding the younger generation, the coming generation, will be so spoiled that it's a hell kind of situation for them, for the society, even for their ancestors who they are supposed to do some particular rituals. If suppose they are fallen in some bad condition. So Arjuna said, this is the fourth reason I'm not going to fight. And fifth reason, that in the beginning of second chapter, Arjuna says, I'm confused. Arjuna was calculating very nicely. He was talking about this dharma, that dharma, putra dharma, then Raja dharma, then he talks about Shraddha. So many things Arjuna is giving calculation. Why I'm not going to fight? Even after all those reasons, Arjuna felt himself, I cannot decide now. I'm totally confused. There are points on this side, on that side. This is anyway, these are such bad people. So under there, what good can happen to the society, to the country, to the people, to the population? So definitely it's my duty to wipe them off. But at the same time, they are my own people. They are my own cousins, my own brothers. And what about the soldiers? Why they have to be killed? Okay, Duryodhana, fine, forget him. But what about the soldiers? Why unnecessarily they have to be killed? So Arjuna is thinking like too fro, and is totally confused. So that is what the indecision is also a kind of a reason we don't do our duties, do our activities. Yes, just to run through finally, the first reason Arjuna was saying about compassion, feeling compassion. Drishtvenam sajannam Krishna yutsum samupastitam sidanti mama gatrani mukham cha parishishyati. So Arjuna was actually displaying those symptoms, and Sanjaya is saying, describing to Dhritarashtra, he is actually crying. He is not able to stand there any longer. His mind is reeling. It is like he's losing his whole balance. So Arjuna was having all those changes in his mind, his body. Naturally, it's not that Arjuna was feeling some kind of fear, seeing the war field, so much huge military on side of Kauravas and such big commanders. He was feeling afraid. So let me take some reason, let me run away. It was not like that. It was Arjuna was sufficient, one person, to wipe out the Kauravas. He's a constant associate of the Lord. He's not an ordinary personality. He was not afraid of the war. But as a great personality should have compassion. He's showing his unique greatness of compassion in this verse. So he's fit to be a king. He's fit to be a ruler. He's fit to do those duties. I do not see how many good can come from killing my own kinsmen in this battle, nor can I, my dear Krishna, desire any subsequent victory, kingdom, or happiness. He was born in a royal household, but still he's saying, I don't mind going to the forest. He was already there, 14 years they were put in exile. He's used to that life. It's fine. Okay. Let them have, and let them enjoy. I don't mind. So something for the body, some sustenance, some maintenance, somewhere, some place to sleep, some food to eat, doesn't matter. Let them enjoy. So that is how Arjuna is thinking. Sin will overcome us if we slay such aggressors. Therefore, it is not proper for us to kill the sons of Dhritarashtra and our friends. What should we gain, O Krishna, husband of the goddess of fortune? And how could we be happy by killing our own kinsman? Sin. So he's talking about sin. Even we kill a small ant, we are held responsible. Here, state laws we can escape, but the Lord's laws we cannot escape. There are witnesses. There is a Yamaraj, the Chief Justice. So everything has to be justified. Just like when you fight for the country, it is justified. In the enemy country who is trying to encroach, that is justified. So there is a what is called Atatayi Naha. That is why you find the second line here. So Arjuna is saying Duryodhana is Atatayi. Atatayi means aggressor. If you kill an aggressor, there is no sin. And the Vedic knowledge tells us there are 6 kinds of aggressors. One is somebody who attacks you with deadly weapons, just like a terrorist. So what are you going to do? You're going to counsel him. You're going to tell him softly. Nothing will do. You just have to, whatever weapon you have, kill him that moment. Otherwise, he will kill you. And there is no sin when you do that. That kind of thing. Even the modern law, it allows on self-defense. If you kill somebody, it's allowed. So you're not said, okay, you have to go to jail. You have to face death penalty. No. In self-defense, it is done. If you prove that reason, fine. So Duryodhana and the party had done so much aggression. They wanted to poison Bhima in the beginning. They wanted to burn them alive. So many times they tried to kill them. Now they're ready. Yes, with all the weapons. Now you'll finish them off. Over, finish. After this war, there is no more Pandavas. So that is their thing. So they are aggressor. So somebody attacks with deadly weapons, somebody gives you poison, somebody burns your house, somebody encroaches on your property, somebody kidnaps your wife. Even that is considered as atatahi. So they even attempted that. Such a pious lady, the Draupadi, not an ordinary woman, she was tried to be disrobed in public. So many things. This Dushasana, Duryodhana, Karna, they did that. They were fit to be killed that second. It was then, and there that Krishna decided, I am going to vanquish these people who participated in this war. Krishna already made a decision, judgment, that very second, that very moment. But just was waiting for the time to take its course and then assemble all the demonic people on one side and just finish them off. That was Krishna's plan. Otherwise, Pandavas, Arjuna did not want them. Arjuna is a saintly person. He's a great sage. He's a Rajarshi. He doesn't want to do this fighting, violence, bloodshed. He's not for all these things. But yes, if it is to for the dharma, if it is to please Krishna, yes, I'm ready. That was how the whole war happened. So he's an aggressor. He's fit to be killed. The Duryodhana and the party. But still, Arjuna is thinking. Arjuna is thinking. Yes, somehow we can excuse them. Somehow we can excuse them. With the destruction of dynasty, the eternal family tradition was vanquished, and thus the rest of the family becomes involved in irreligious process. Yes, after effect of the war, what will happen? Whoever lives after the war, definitely their parents, their fathers, their brothers, their husbands, after they have been killed, the society, the family, where the women are, like we see now, these terrorists, when they took over Syria or many places, we hear all these stories. They kill the men, then they kidnap the woman and they pollute the woman, and the child they will come out, or whoever already their child, they train them to be terrorists, because you can train them in any way. They're so innocent. So innocent people can be changed. So this is what is happening, and they become terrorists. The children, their own children, they kill their father and polluted their mother, and their own children they're brainwashed into become terrorists. So this is all we see happening. So this is how Arjuna could foresee. There will be people who will exploit the situation, and then the whole thing will be a big pandemonium. So Arjuna is foreseeing all these calamities. Nor do we know which is better, conquering them or being conquered by them. The sons of Dhritarashtra whom if we kill, we should not care to live, or now standing before us on his own. So Arjuna is confused. Arjuna, with all his intelligence, with all his saintly character, is not able to decide. This duality, this confusions, is the indecisiveness is a part of our life. Every second, every moment, every situation that comes up, we do not know whether I'm doing this is right or this is wrong. I'm confused. I do not know what I should do. So what we should do, we should follow in the footsteps of Arjuna. What Arjuna will do now, let us see. That is the next chapter. What Arjuna will take an action now. Arjuna is saying, he's proposing, I will leave this war. I will run away. I will go to forest. I will give up my duty. I don't want. But what Krishna will have to say. So let us read, let us understand, let us find out tomorrow. So we have all these situations, sometimes out of compassion, out of a feeling of enjoyment, feelings of enjoyment. We may be confused about our actual duties, understanding of sin, understanding family tradition. Okay, so this is a summary of this chapter. The very first verse, Dhritarashtra's mood is expressed. The personality of Dhritarashtra can be analyzed. Then the second to 11 verses, the personality of Duryodhana can be analyzed, his position, his approach to the war, and then the situation of the blowing of the conch shells, when the Pandavas blew, when the Kauravas blew, and how the Kauravas felt a kind of a shattering of their heart. And Arjuna, when he saw the war, what happened to him? It's a holy place, Dharmakshetra Kurukshetra, what effect it had on Arjuna. That is all what we heard today. Thank you, everybody. So I'm done. Today it is 7:50, so I think 8 minutes before I finish my presentation. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your presence. So we could understand something. Okay. So some announcements. Okay. Yes, Hare Krishna. I think first of all, let us take some questions. That is what I feel. Devotees may want to clarify, they want to discuss some topic. So let us take it up. Then maybe Harshali Mataji, yesterday she was trying to show us how we can solve the quiz. So with this, what is the basic understanding of this first chapter? What is the take home for us from this first chapter? They are in those quizzes. Very simple questions, multiple choice questions. And it is designed in such a way that you will, even if you make a mistake, you can later make a retake the quiz, second attempt, third attempt, and get the right answer there that is shown there. So you understand what is actually the first chapter Gita is trying to say. That is, the questions are made so nice. That's why we request the devotees. So it may be some difficulty registering for that quiz and all that, but our devotees are there to help you out, to guide you how to exactly do that. So they will show that presentation also right now. And even otherwise, later you can always contact them, communicate with them, and they'll help you out. There are a lot of questions in the chat box, I suppose. Maybe we can, if nobody has the questions, we can take the questions in the chat box. There is Arshavardhan Jain who has raised his hand. Prabhu